This is a very bittersweet video because we are going to find out who the Dominion is. Also too, this is the end. My name is Dorian. This is SEO Comics. We are concluding our coverage of Fall of X. We are also concluding our coverage of Immortal X-Men with number 18. So our story starts off with Mother Rises walking with Jean / the Phoenix in the White Hot Room, and it's like in the desert. And she's explaining how she wants to ascend to become a Dominion, but she doesn't call it a Dominion. She just calls it a happy ending. And then we cut to the aftermath of what was happening on, I guess, the Atlantic side of Krakoa, where Exodus finally got everything under control, and you have Hope. She's with Destiny, and Destiny is bleeding out because Mother Rises stabbed the hell out of her. And Elixir comes over and starts using his power to help save her. So all of a sudden she pops up screaming, "We're in the White Hot Room," scares shit out of Elixir. Hope's like, "Yeah, Destiny, we found out when we got Jean." And then Destiny's like, "Hope, is Mother Rises still around?" Exodus flies down and says, "No, she's gone with Jean." So Destiny grabs Hope and goes, "All right, quickly, we still have a chance. We can still stop her. I'll explain on the way." So the Exodus goes, "Have your powers returned? What use are you?" This is a classic case of when you are a hammer, everything's a nail. Like, Exodus is like the least useful person in this scenario right now. And Destiny goes, "Oh, Exodus, I am the only one that can do anything." And that is true. So now she's pretty much explaining how we got to this scenario, how she uses things from people to supply her with magical abilities, and then she'll use those magic abilities to do different things, like how she wanted all the mutants to go where all mutants belong, which is the White Hot Room, which, I mean, I know, understand Jean goes there, but you know, all the mutants, I guess so. And since she's not a mutant, she couldn't get in there. So what she did is she took some of her magical ability, she took a fraction of a bunch of mutants' abilities and made her own. So now she seemed like a mutant and she'll be able to get in. I mean, she was playing both sides the whole time. She played Orcus so that she can get her hands on the Atlantic side of Krakoa. She played the mutants so she can get in the White Hot Room. Like, this was all her plan. So now we cut to Mirror Island, where you have Sinister. Well, Sinister's in Professor Xavier's head. Professor Xavier is on the island. So Professor Xavier asks Sinister, why did he build the Myra engine here? And he goes, besides comedy, this is the most active place that Myra has been on Earth. So this is more or less like a stability point, like a multi-dimensional pivot for the clones. So then Charles is wondering if Myra is still Myra underneath all that robotic. And Scissor's like, "I'm the wrong person to ask. I reinvented myself so many times, I don't know if I am still me. But whoever wins this Dominion game is going to be the real Sinister. Let that be a clue for you guys." And the Sinister pretty much tells Charles to be on guard because Orcus is everywhere. So the Charles is like, "Look, I'll be fine. I'm in everybody's head, and right now nobody can see me. I just need your science to come through." And Sinister's pretty much like, "Just pop that can of Jeffrey's gas, whatever that is. I guess it makes the machines not be able to see Charles, so none of the cameras can." And then he's like, "Once we get to the lab, we'll be safe anyway." So the Charles is like, "We've messed with this machine. Orcus has messed with this machine. Is anything going to be left over for us to even salvage?" Sinister's like, "The only thing I remember from Sins of Sinister," he didn't call it Sins of Sinister, but that's what it is for you guys. "All I know is that my attempt failed, and Mother Rises gave you all the details, but I guarantee she saved all the good stuff for her. And if you don't know what the hell I'm talking about, the card for Sins of Sinister will be right here, and there'll also be a link in the description." But Sinister's like, "Don't worry, I got my own hidden backup that I guarantee nobody found, so we'll see what happened in the Sinister timeline." So now we cut back to Mother Rises, and she's talking shit about Sinister, as one does. And she's like, "He took a shot at the Dominion on accident. He filled up a universe with a bunch of clothes of himself, then set it on fire, and he almost got it, but not quite. And don't get it twisted, I understand that magic is not all powerful. If it was, America would have a bunch of musicians rather than nukes. But Sinister was right about one thing. Mutants are interesting. They're like a cheat code, like a new cheat code. Really, it's not mutants." She's more or less talking about the Phoenix. You'll see at the end. So then we cut to Exodus, Destiny, and Hope, and they're flying towards Mother Rises. So Destiny's like, "Faster, I need to speak with her." And Exodus is like, "Tell us." And she's like, "Very well. There's a Dominion outside of space and time." That's like a mandate. Like, I don't know who's in charge of the X-Men, especially when it comes to this. Not sure. Kieron, Gillen, Jerry Duggan, I don't know. But Whoever's in charge, they have made it clear that when you mention the Dominion, you have to say it outside of space and time. Thank you for joining my TED Talk. Now back to the story. She's like, I've been trying to act against it without acting against it. She's like, I haven't talked about it because it could be watching at any time. Anything that I've tried to do is gone extremely poorly. But now that we're in a white hot room, we're outside of space and time, it can't see in here, so now I can talk about it. She's like, this would be such a relief if the fate of reality wasn't in imbalance. I wish Mystique was here. But she's like, quickly, if she listens to me, maybe all this could be averted, because she does not know what she is doing. So then we cut back to Charles and Sinister, and Charles, I guess, is trying to hook up his machine, and Sinister's trying to walk him through doing the whole thing. He's like, yeah, hook that up. Yeah, you're doing good. Actually, you're doing very well, Charles. And then Professor Xavier's like, oh, hold on, time out, homie. He didn't say homie, but you know what I mean. He was like, look, don't patronize me. I am a genius. Remember that. I built the first Cerebro. Besides, any technical skills that I lack, I just borrow from somebody else. There's a Norwegian electrical engineer out there that I'm borrowing his skills right now. So then Charles is like, okay, if the Dominion does exist, what can we actually do? And so it's like, the question is, what can it do? It's outside of space and time. There goes that mandate again. So it has great power, but it is still limited to what it can do. But it can probably do a lot of things like behind the scenes. It could change meanings, it can reveal truths. Think of reality as like a huge minefield right now. So then Charles is like, but if you're inside my head, hence, if it's watching, it can only see me. And it is shy of meddling directly in fear of breaking causality. I see. How can you tell it's not in full power yet? And Sinister is like, we're alive. Once it goes into full power, it'll care a lot less about breaking causality. So the Sinister is like, yeah, be careful because I booby trapped this part. So the way to get around it is you're going to have to. And Charles is like, I already circumvented it. Don't worry. With the assistance of some South Korean hackers, I'm already inside. He's like, another reason why I feel like the Dominion is not in power yet, because the winner will be gloating more. At least I know I would be. Stasis, Opus Solaris, and whoever the other Sinister is, he knows about Mother Rises, but he doesn't know that she's a Sinister. He goes, I guess they're still on their way to Dominion Hood. And then Professor says like, no, Stasis and Opus Solaris aren't, because they have tried and they failed as in your machine. So now we cut back to Mother Rises, and she started to explain how at first she wanted to use Legion, because Legion is an Omega 11 mutant. He has all these personalities, and all the personalities have different powers, and she figures she can use Legion to achieve Dominionship, Dominion Hood, whatever it is. Anyway, but Legion dipped on her. And now that I think about it, he did the same thing in Sons of Sinister, so this is something that Legion does. But then she thought of another route. Like I said, she's been playing Orchis from the start. She realized that Jean is directly connected to the Phoenix. So every time Jean dies, she goes to the white hot room, and then she has access to the Phoenix. So she's the one who told Orchis about the knife to use to kill Jean, so that Jean would go to the white hot room. She would go to the white hot room once she made herself into a mutant, and now her plan is in full fruition, I guess you could say. I think I pronounced that right. Let me know if I did it. So then we switch back to Professor Xavier and Sinister, and Professor Xavier is explaining that Sinister is like, Stasis and Opus Solaris attempts are clearly labeled. Each of them reached out for Dominion Hood and then were consumed, and then you reset. And then Sinister is like, I don't have any memory of that. Like, I don't know where it came from. Like, I can't even see it. Are you messing with me, Charles? And Professor X is like, I'm not, but looks like somebody is. There's been 3 Dominion attempts. Yours with the Red Diamond Empire, Orbis Solaris with the M-Cron Crystal, and Stasis did something terrible to the sun. I can't wait to read those stories. But there hasn't been a 4th. But then Sinister goes, but there's details of the 4th Sinister, right? And then that's when they find out the 4th Sinister is Mother Righteous. So then Charles is like, I don't know why I never noticed it, but she was always wearing a mask around us. And then Sinister's like, she's going to do it. We got to find her, and we got to stop her from defying causality. So now Hope, Destiny, and Exodus get to Mother Righteous. They see her. Mother Righteous drops all of her orbs, uses some kind of magic spell, and then all these storybook monsters come out of nowhere, and they go to fight Hope, Exodus, and Destiny. Destiny is trying to talk to her, but Mother Righteous pulls out her knife, sticks it deep into Jean's chest. Exodus uses his power and he launches Destiny towards Mother Righteous, but she's already writing something with the knife and the blood. Destiny's like, stop, you have to stop. Because using the pure Phoenix blood in the white hot room with the pure paper, what she's calling it, she writes, once upon a time, there was a simple girl from Exodus. She became a Dominion and she lived happily ever after. And I guess that's all it takes. She goes to turn a page and then there's fire. And it reads, however, this mistress of stories should have known that there's always a twist. Look behind you. And she does, and she goes, no. And then all of a sudden there's a lot of blood. So she falls back down to wherever she was at. And Destiny's like, the scream. Yes, she's back. And then she's like, no, it's me. It should have been me, but it's him. Help me to her, please, Hope. And then she kicks the shit out of Mother Righteous. And she's like, that's what I was trying to tell you, you bit. You doomed us all. So now I want you to think back to the first issue of Immortal X-Men. You know what? I'll just read his note. I was Nathaniel Essex. I am long dead. I am a ghost in a machine. You may call me Enigma. You were told that you had new gods. You do. I am he. I can see all of you. Every part of you will become me. So yes, the original Sinister, Nathaniel Essex, is Enigma, who is the Dominion. Now, before I sign off, I just have one quick question. Before I did this video, I watched a video with Rob and he was talking about Enigma and how Enigma might quite possibly be stronger than the one above all. Now, Rob is the YouTube comic book GOAT. That man forgot more about comics than I ever will know. Only reason why I disagree with him with that statement is because Jonathan Hickman clearly stated that there are 3 things that the Dominion is scared of, and that's the World Eater, Galactus, and the Phoenix. All 3 of those things, the one above all is a lot stronger than. So I don't understand how the Dominion will be stronger than the one above all. Let me know in the comments, how do you feel about it, or what do you think? The fall of X is over. Technically, it's not over. Now we're just putting a house in front of it. So now we begin the fall of the House of X with number 1. That'll be the next video.